Holy moly, hello, turkeys. This is Dan and Margie, and we're the Gen-Xers. Margie, we're live.
Oh, no. I think we're going to be okay.
Anything could happen.
We got a good audience. I think we're going to be okay.
Great audience. We got the best audience.
Yeah.
That there is, and that's good because we've got a lot to cover this week. A lot of serious things to cover this week.
Yes.
But how are you doing? We did a few personal, exciting things this week.
We did. We have really good news in that our daughter won a singing contest.
A pretty big one.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Thanks after me. La 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 la.
No, we were really super happy for her because it was something that she had wanted to do for several years and hadn't, and took a chance this year and did it. And the icing on the cake was that she won, and she was like really thrilled. So shout out to you.
Yeah, we're very proud of her just for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this week I read an article today, Margie, that apparently the season finale of Star Trek Brave New World, or one of these things, is going to have some kind of Doctor Who tie-in. And I just emailed my friend, or messaged my friend Glenn, no! And he wrote back that I ruined his entire weekend. It's like, what are they doing? Why? I love Doctor Who and Star Wars and Star Trek. I don't have it, but whatever. And both of them are crap right now. That's why it's going to be bad. So
this is the marriage of two franchises, apparently, from what I gather, because I'm not the expert and the super fan that you are, okay,
Sure.
And that Glenn is, but I pal around with both of these guys, and so I just from listening to them, from what I understand, they've taken both franchises. And we've kind of, I guess, Hollywoodized, Disneyfied.
Well, they've sexed up Spock. You've heard me talk about this thing.
Right. So a lot of changes with the Star Trek franchise and the Doctor Who franchise that weren't exactly welcomed by fans. So I'm sorry to hear that.
And so now we're going to team them up.
I don't know. This is what happens when we've seen this happen before. Happy Days, when they, when the series start crossing over,
Mark. That was pretty good. I remember that one when Mark came into Happy Days.
Yeah.
Now, some people didn't like it.
I liked it. I thought he fit in there actually.
It was the thumb versus the Nanu.
Yeah, the battle.
Do you remember when Tom Hanks was on there and he was a karate guy that Fonzie bullied at one point and he got a black belt in karate and he come back to fight Fonzie?
I don't.
Maybe we can watch it for the channel and do a little review or something. It's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, all of that stuff aside, it's 9/11. Can't really do a show on that day without talking about a little bit. We're old enough to remember, where we were, as probably most of you, or not, if not all of you are. Margie, you want to tell them a little bit about what our day was like that day?
Yeah. So this was, I do remember that day quite clearly, and I'm sure you remember that day quite clearly. We had to go our separate ways in the middle of the day. But what happened was we were at the gym at the university. We were playing racquetball, and everybody knows, you're in an enclosed room. You don't really hear anything. We weren't paying attention behind us. We played a good game of racquetball.
Those were the days I could actually play a sport. And I was good at it. I was pretty good at racquetball.
I was a young and spry, almost 30-year-old. So I was like, yeah, it was great.
You were 3 days from 30.
I was 3 days from 30.
I was still young months away.
Right. But we play racquetball, and we come out of the racquetball room, and the racquetball room overlooks the rest of the gym. And we look down, and there's a large group of people. Everybody in the gym basically is in the lobby around this giant screen TV that's in the lobby. And we're like, what's going on? And we go downstairs, and we're like, I was grabbed by several people. I know several people approached you and were like, oh my gosh, and told us what happened. Like, this is happening right now. And we stood in the lobby and watched with the rest of the gym for about 5 minutes And then we were like, we got to go home. So we got in the car, we drove home. I called my mom. I know you called your parents. You went to class after that, and I went to go pick up the kids who had been let out of school early that day, I believe. And when I left to go get them, I know gas lines were already forming. There were a couple of gas stations where we lived, and we lived in a town of about 50,000 that ran out of gas that day. And it was just very quiet. There were people about, but everybody was really quiet. And I think everybody was just in shock.
It was really surreal because we didn't know what was happening, if it was over, if there was going to be something more. And yeah, we got home and I had to be in class at like the top of the hour to teach a class of freshmen. And I was just a graduate and assistant myself. So I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to teach or how to do anything really. So I just went in and pretty much everyone showed up. Kind of surprising that wouldn't happen today. And I just let them talk about it. We kind of just talked about what happened and I let them vent. I mean, they weren't going to be able to concentrate that day or whatever.
No.
Yeah, and then I probably had a beer before I went and probably went home and had another one as we watched the news just to see, what was going to happen as they found out. And then I guess, I can't remember when it was, maybe the next day, whatever. George Bush gave that pretty good speech. And the country felt pretty united. And it hasn't since. It's been pretty downhill when it comes to that kind of thing since.
Yeah.
Which brings us, I guess, to our other topic that's kind of tough to talk about. And we don't want to talk about it, but I guess it's something we have to. A YouTuber, Charlie Kirk, was shot and killed, as I'm sure all of you know. And we're not a political channel. We're not going to get into the politics of it. We've said on here before, I'm not going to speak for Margie, but at least for me, I think the biggest problem is the divisiveness, that we pick teams and decide that's the team we're going to root for, so that 50% of the country thinks everything this side thinks, and about 50% thinks everything this side thinks, and we all we all dehumanize and hate the other side. And so, and here's my theory on it, is that happy people and content people don't buy stuff. All the corporations own the news now, and they just want to keep us divided because
fear
sells, and it sells elections, and it sells merchandise.
Yeah, fear very much sells. And I really think that a lot of this divisiveness, and I'm sure a lot of you agree, or maybe not, I do believe that a lot of this divisiveness is orchestrated. I think it's orchestrated. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's unrealistic for us to really think that 50% of the country thinks one way and 50% of the country thinks another. There are people with all kinds of beliefs that fall all over the spectrum. We're all like that. Yeah. So to kind of buy that line is it's not, none of it's true, I don't think.
And it's the dehumanizing of each other. We're not each other's enemies. Do you remember when we were kids, adults would get on TV and talk about very sensitive, heated topics in a civil manner?
Yes.
And they would not yell at each other or punch each other, usually. I mean, there were exceptions of people getting heated. But they'd shake hands and that'd be the debate and people could figure out and decide for themselves. I remember my dad and his friends, or my mom and her friends, very seldom talked about politics. Even in election year, all they really ever agreed on was they all suck, which they still do. And people disagreed, they still got along because they realized there's more we have in common as humans than anything that could ever divide us.
Right. And we talked about, too, back in the day, people getting along and being that considerate of one another, where, hey, I don't know if you and I are going to disagree on this, so why don't I just not bring it up? That sort of thing happening.
That's fine, too.
Because we had to. Because you couldn't connect with somebody on Facebook back then. You had to live with your neighbors, no matter what their beliefs were, no matter where they were from, or what, religion they were in, or whatever. You lived with your neighbors, and we understood that. Were there problems? Of course there were. Of course. But, yeah, I think I feel far more divided in my community and in my country than I ever have growing up.
Yeah. We talked about what corporations were doing, kind of attacking free speech in different ways with Steam, and there's other things going on. Students getting arrested for protesting. Now this. Freedom of speech is under attack. It seems tangential at the moment, but it seems also under attack to me. And without freedom of speech, none of our other rights matter. They'll all quickly fall away if we can't say what we want to say without repercussions.
Well, without the repercussion of violence or death.
Well, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, obviously, people are going to disagree, and they might say, hey, you're a jerk, or whatever, or they might not watch your show, or they might unsubscribe,
or you, sure. Whatever. Yeah, there are always consequences when we share our thoughts with somebody else, good and bad, big and little. But none of those consequences should include violence or death, period. Yeah. Not here in the United States, not anywhere in the world. We are saddened by this because it makes us less safe and less united.
Because he was a human being, he had 2 daughters. I think I can't remember for sure, but I think so. Or he had a family. It's horrible, man. You can't do it.
Yeah, no, we just got to come together, guys. And there's a really good reason.
It's okay if you don't agree.
Yeah, it's it's.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's a really good reason we should be coming together. By the way, Dan,
what is it?
You want to share?
Oh, I forgot almost. Yeah, well, the Greys are here.
Yeah.
I've been sounding an alarm bell. I don't know if anyone has heard me, but finally somebody's listening. Yeah, did you see that video? Well, I know you did because I sent you this morning. Of that quote-unquote UFO being hit by a hellfire missile, bouncing off, etc.
Yeah.
We'll show it here, and then we'll come back and discuss it.
Yes, I did. You guys should see this.
I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe. This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone, and so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does. This is when it zoomed out, so you can still see it traveling. So, Mr. Knapp, have you heard about events like this occurring, and what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild, and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
You okay? Yeah, we're in trouble, guys.
Yeah, here they come. I've got 2 questions before we talk about this a little bit more. 1, why does my head look so big? You notice it? I've been letting my hair grow out and my beard a little bit, and my head just is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Easy target for these aliens. I better watch out and sit too close. They can see me from space.
Okay, so that was your first question. What was your second question?
Have you ever noticed the more sort of passionate I get about a topic, the higher my voice gets?
Yes. Yeah.
I just noticed that when I was talking about that last thing. Anyway, what do you make of that, Marge? You think... I don't know. I'm not a film expert. I don't know if it's legit or not, but
Well, yeah, okay. So yeah, apparently we have this footage from military operation shall not be named, where they see this object, fire a hellfire missile at it for unknown reasons, and it breaks apart like fluid, and then the pieces come following the ship. The shrapnel, the shrapnel from the, well, it bounced off, but there were like some pieces that came off that looked almost fluid when they came off. And then they gathered and followed whatever the object was out of sight, which defies physics as we know it.
I had a big interest in UFOs for a while when we were newly married. Mostly abduction stories. I worked at a bookstore and I discovered these alien abduction novels, like true stories or whatever.
You made me
Read a ton of them.
You made me very paranoid of them for a little bit. I'd be like, what is
Well, I read like 10 of those things in a row, and I got a little paranoid about it. And then I kind of got over it. I was like, and I'm not interested in UFOs for years and years and years, until this stuff starts coming out again. For years, the government told us we're not keeping track on the UFOs. This is so ridiculous. We don't even bother to think about it or have a file on it or even talk about it. Well, come to find out, that was a load of bull hockey. They've got all kinds of videos and files and whatnots. And we're supposed to just believe their word for it now that, hey, it's all fine. Yeah, we're lying about that other thing, but now you can trust us.
This is our lives, by the way. This is our lives, is just having things come out that we had a suspicion were hinky, and the government finally saying like, yeah, you guys were right, it was hinky. We told you it wasn't for a long time, but here it is. And we're like, yeah. We knew it.
That's yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, luckily, I'm a technological expert, and I'm on the case. I was able to blow that footage up by about, 2,000 times. And I think I've got some answers, maybe. Let's roll that. Johnny, roll that beautiful bean footage, would you?
Okay.
I knew it. Space Ghost that again.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have known. It was just Space Ghost messing around.
It's always Space Ghost.
Yeah.
It's never UFO. It's always Space Ghost.
Yeah. According to the U.S. government.
All right. All right, Marge. It's been a pretty heavy episode so far. 9/11 memories, always kind of heavy. I just, whatever else is going on, I feel for Charlie Kirk's family. They're real human beings, really dealing with the loss of a family member, and I've been through that. Not good, not fun. Yeah. So yeah, of course, my heart goes out to them. And the aliens are here. I mean, they've been here.
We've got to come together, guys. We have got to come together. Because aliens are here.
Do you remember at the end you remember The Watchmen?
Yes.
Like we both read the comic and seen the movie. And at the end, when Ozymandias sets up this thing where it looks like aliens have attacked, in the comic book, they do something different in the movie, but in the comic book, he sets up this thing like aliens have attacked so that it brings the world together into a new government.
Yeah.
Good scene, just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wanted to look at some memes.
Yeah.
Some fun, right?
We wanted to end this show on a lighter note, introduce some lightness. It's kind of a heavy show, like you said.
Yeah, we haven't looked at any Gen X memes in a while, or 80s memes or whatever. They're always kind of fun to see what's true and relatable and what's just kind of dumb. So let's shrink us up here. Whoa! Wow!
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let us know in the comments how the sound is. We went live tonight, and the sound is always hard. Maybe I need to mess with it for next time or something. I don't know. Let me know.
Yeah. Or if you have any suggestions at all or any comments, we'd love to hear from you.
So here we go. A nostalgic Gen X meme dump for those who remember the 80s. This was in Thunder Dungeon. Never heard of Thunder
By
Dungeon
Phil.
until now. Hey, good work, Phil.
Good work, Phil.
Compiling these.
Yeah.
Number 1. If you used this to dry your hands back in the 80s at the gas station, you're probably immune to literally everything. Margie, have you ever used one of those?
I have, but I have to say that gas station restrooms in the 80s were horribly dirty, nasty.
Sure.
The locks would be broken. The toilets would be hinky. Like, this towel was probably the least of your worries in those gas stations. So
I worked in a bar and grill in the 80s and 90s that had one of these in the men's bathroom. So I can do one better than just having used one. I used to have to change these out pretty much nightly, and then you'd put them in a bin. And I don't know if someone would pick them up and clean them, and you'd put it clean. I don't know. There's a whole company that did this. And they would be nasty as smart. You wouldn't believe what people wiped on them. You don't want to know. But I will also say this. I've worked in a lot of restaurants, cleaned a lot of bathrooms, and the women's bathroom gets worse in a lot of ways. Like, drunk men, they're always going to be trickling on the floor a little bit when they're trying to pee, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you ladies were doing in there. I mean, I can't even talk about some of the stuff I found in there.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure bathroom work was horrifying.
One lady pooped on
anyway.
top of the toilet. I will say that. On the top of the tank.
Okay.
Like where the tank is at, right back on it.
That was an unfortunate evening,
Yeah.
I'm certain, for you and her.
Hashtag that. Somebody.
Hashtag poop on the toilet.
All right, look. Now, look, this one's just got some Ninja Turtles and Oregon Trail. I mean, it's just nostalgia. I don't know, man. Come on. That's not a real meme. Same with this one. They took some kind of meme and put Thundercats in it. Now, I like the Thundercats. Try harder, people.
Come on, Phil. We know you can do better.
Do you think Phil made all these himself?
It's credited to him.
All right, Phil.
He didn't credit any partners with this.
This one, I agree with. The Gen X, I'm staying home from school 6 starter pack. What do you think of that lineup?
I would add a couple things. In my house, if you were sick enough to stay home from school, you would get like a little coloring book or a sticker book to occupy your time. And that would occupy me for about 20 minutes probably. And we forgot the bed / fort on the couch. I'd always like bunk out on the couch, you know, because we didn't have TVs in our room back then. You were rich if you had a TV in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
You know, you were laying out on the couch watching TV in the living room if you were sick.
Yeah.
With Mom bringing you some Sprite.
This was pretty much it for me, too. I didn't like chicken noodle soups. It'd probably be vegetable. It would probably just be just the 7-Up and the saltine crackers. I still have a lot of stomach aches for some reason. Some of them real, some of them fake. But
What?
usually it would be some Sprite and some saltines. And yeah, I love just sitting there on the couch watching some Price is Right.
Yeah.
Next time we get a day off, for either being sick or holiday or whatever, we should do this. Let's get us some 7-Up, salted crackers, put on some old school game show Price is Right.
Okay.
Just relax.
Can we make a fort on the couch?
Yeah, we can make a fort.
All right, cool. I'll do
All
it.
right. Well, maybe we can stream live from our couch fort.
From our couch fort, yeah.
Hey, put in comments if you'd like to see that. It's a little trick I use to get people to comment.
Good one. They'll never know.
What do you think about this, Mama? Was this your 80s getting ready for a Friday night starter pack?
No, I mean, kind of. I had some of those things. I think the caboodles. Do you know what a caboodle is, by the way?
No.
It's the tackle box looking thing on there. I believe that's a caboodle.
I would have guessed it was the little scrunchy looking things.
No, that's a kablabla. No, I don't know what that is. Some other cute name. But I don't think the caboodles came till later.
Okay.
I think that's inaccurate. But I also noticed they didn't really include dudes on there.
Well, I mean, it'd be a lot sadder. My Friday night starter pack was a candy bar, a big gulp, and a couple comic books from 7-Eleven.
That sounds fun.
It was fun.
It sounds great.
But at the time, I was like, I wish I had a date. But now I'm like, boy, that doesn't. What was I complaining about? That sounds like a great night.
That's a great Friday night. Yeah.
I do remember the Aquanet ladies being like I remember woman, or the girl who sat in front of me in like sixth or seventh grade, her hair was so big, and I could smell that Aquanet. I'd get lightheaded by the end of class.
I bet that, and it would last throughout the day. That scent, you'd flip your bangs around, and they'd come around like a semi truck, and they'd waft that lacquer smell everywhere.
If all you out there see me looking to the side here, I'm just kind of seeing. We got kind of our homemade setup here. I'm just seeing if there's any comments. There's not. Slackers, just like Gen X, a bunch of slackers. Margie, this month, I don't know what month this was, the Breakfast Club will turn 40. If you saw the movie in 1985, now you're older than Vernon. Screw you, Internet. Phil? Thanks for... No, I don't mind getting older. I think a lot of people these days cheat themselves out of old age. Like, there's parts of life, you should enjoy them all, and I look forward, and I'm already started it, honestly, of being old, sitting on the porch, just looking out the yard, being a little grumpy sometimes. People thinking I'm wise when I'm not, whatever. No, now everybody wants to be 20 up until they croak.
Right.
Not me. I want some time to wind down.
Yeah, we've worked hard.
Yeah.
You know.
This picture just got stuck to the roof of my mouth. Kind of goes along with this one. Them, the world is falling apart. Gen X kids, have you ever had a bologna and potato chip sandwich?
Yeah.
Hey, they're good.
They are good.
I like them with those ridged barbecue ones.
I like them with regular plain chips. Adds a little salt and crunch to it.
All right. Before games on your phone, some games looked like a phone.
This was a Merlin, and we had one, and I was bad at the game. But this game featured as a prop in several of me and my siblings' theatrical productions at home.
I had one. I can hear the sound. I can't remember exactly what the game was. Was it a trivia game or a pattern game or something?
It was a pattern game. You could do different games on it depending. It was kind of like the different games that the Omni used to have, the little boopy ball, boop, boop, and the variations where they just move the ball and the little slidey things. That was the variation. Same thing here. You're basically following the patterns, like Simon Says.
Do you think the Illuminati was trying to get us used to cell phones when they put that out?
Yes, absolutely.
You can hear, smell, and feel this picture. I can, yes, I certainly can hear, smell, and feel that picture.
I can. I get a twinge in my finger, which was jammed big time by jammed. I don't know what it was. We just splinted it and called it a day. Rubbed some tussin on it.
Yeah.
I never got medical help for it, but I remember reaching out for a dodgeball and it smacking this finger and pain for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Life is a Mr. T. Everyone must Sam Malone. That's what the internet was made for. Not for arguing, not for fighting, not for politics. Right there.
Magnifique.
Yes, it's a piece of art.
That's right.
So we'll just hang that up in a museum.
That's great, yeah.
The weatherman said dress for the mid-'80s. Marge, or you go ahead. Have at it.
I was just going to suggest that we dress for Halloween in similar 80s get-ups. Maybe not this exact one. I'm not going to do a half shirt or a mesh shirt, for God's sake, right now.
Look, I've lamented on this show before about being a kid that had to go to the husky section for his clothes. That's how they did us in the 80s, by the way. You all talk about body positivity. There was none of that back then. You walked into the store, some guy'd come up and look at you if you're a heavy kid like I was. If you were in the regular clothes, they'd say, these clothes ain't for you, kid. You come with me. And they'd take you to the special husky section.
Yeah.
And that's where I did my clothes. But I eventually did lose some weight, as I got older. And I had me a half shirt for about a year. I mean, proof's in the pudding, fellas. Am I right? Got me a lady. It worked for old Dan.
Not from that shirt.
I beg to differ.
Only because you'd phased this look out by the time I showed up. That was it.
Right?
But we're dressing like this for Halloween, by the way.
Exactly
like this. Oh, yeah.
All right, why not?
That's going to be your outfit.
Sometimes I'd like to drop my kids off in the 80s just to see how long they make it. I love my kids too much to do that. I know they're too soft to make it.
Yeah. They wouldn't survive it. In this meme, you see there's a window in the background here, this big picture window, with a little face of a person just looking out with horror. That's me in this picture. I'm both horrified and impressed.
I'm probably the stupid kid laying on top of the car and one of my friends said, "Hey, look, can I jump over you?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah."
Just lay right there, man. Oh, yeah.
Why not? Now, again, I was the heavier kid, so the other way around would have been really dangerous with me trying to jump over my friend.
They do look like they have somebody light and nimble up there, at least.
This next one is probably my favorite. This is how I remember Christmas.
I thought this was a picture of my mom at first.
80s parents watching you find out 50 cents McDonald's coupon from your stocking. Oh, yeah, man. There was so much smoking in the house when I was a kid, in the house, in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, they should have shown that 50-cent gift certificate from McDonald's through a haze of smoke. That's where we saw most of our Christmas presents, through a haze of smoke.
That's true. 50 cents wasn't bad back then.
That's right.
Get you some fries and a soda, probably.
There you go.
All right, Mario, let's hark back to our days of debauchery, the granddaddy of White Claw. Now, I didn't drink too many Bartlett James. I think by the time I started drinking, I was just kind of young. I went to the hard stuff pretty soon. I don't drink anymore. But I would think more Boone's Farm. Remember that stuff?
Yes.
Many a, I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah. Best that we not bring up our Boone's Farm days.
Boy, I don't know if you all youngsters, Boone's Farm was wine for about $2 or $1 or something probably even back then. It tasted more like Kool-Aid or... It was kind of good.
It was called wine as a generosity.
Yeah.
Like it was barely wine.
You get a couple bottles of
Barely
those and
wine.
down it, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it tasted just like Kool-Aid. That was the danger of it, was that it tasted like watered down Kool-Aid. So you'd be, hey, give me another glass, and then you'd be on the floor.
I mean, it was very cheap, and it didn't taste like alcohol too much. So it was the introduction to a lot of young folks back then into the booze life.
It was.
Which, I've done a little bit of research on this before. Our generation in general, big drinkers, Gen X. Like, I think it peaked with us, and since then it's been dying down. So.
Which is good. Yeah.
Who do you think drink more, Gen Xers or Mad Men, the Mad Men generation?
I don't know.
Probably us, just because I like us.
Just because you like us and you think
Well, I
would,
like everybody.
Would that make us win?
Yeah.
If we drank more, if we were more
I mean,
alcoholic.
they were doing it at business meetings. We were doing it while trying to jump over our friends and bikes. Who
Right.
needs it more? Us.
Right, yeah.
We didn't have business meetings.
Yeah.
All right. This is what a GoFundMe looked like when I was growing up. I was talking to you about that the other day, probably ranting a little bit. I used to mow lawns, big ones, for $5 to $10. 10 at the most. And now, for those same size yards, probably $80, man.
I remember me and my sister working hard. We'd always work on a Thursday, Friday, by the way, for the weekend, because we'd be like, oh gosh, we didn't earn enough money yet because we've been lazy all week. So we'd be like, Mom, what are some chores? She'd give us some chores real fast. I would have to like sweep and mop the entire living room, kitchen, hallway, and I'd get like 50 cents.
Yeah.
At the most.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, okay, you do this for 50 cents, do that for 25 cents, do that. And we'd save up to enough for, we would usually have about $2, maybe, either a little bit more or less, to go down to the store and purchase our weekly
Our parents'
candy.
cigarettes.
No, they paid for that usually in my house. To purchase like candy, to go play the new video games that were out, to just go have fun. But yeah.
Hey, Chris Hood said hello. 50 cents was significant back then.
Yes.
And that is true.
Yes.
And he, in quotes, laughs in Mad Dog 2020. Oh, I got Mad Dog 2020 stories I never tell on this channel.
Nope.
Not in a million years would I tell my Mad Dog stories.
Nope. No.
I got to take a drink of coffee after that. I almost had a hangover just thinking back on it. But yeah, there's no like kids, it doesn't seem like there's kids who just are in town or whatever. Like, hey, yeah, I'll mow your yard for $20 or whatever. Everyone's a professional now.
Well, I mean, to be
Even
fair,
12-year-olds, they've got LLCs and Facebook pages and websites. It's like,
oh yeah,
I want to go and rate.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, kids probably don't go door to door much anymore nowadays, just because of all the fear, that's stoked, and the real things that are.
Well, they used to tell us
there.
about stranger danger all the time, but we were the danger.
Well,
You think the strangers are the danger?
What was different about when we were kids was that we were, we were taught stranger danger, but also most of us were part of communities. That, like, I was part of a large neighborhood that we looked out for each other. We would, when there were a lot of people in our neighborhood that worked at Chrysler with my stepdad, and they had a lot of issues with strikes in the 70s and 80s. And when somebody would get the layoff at Chrysler, the whole neighborhood would come around. You're talking about like 3 streets of people that would come by with casseroles for you. Here's something to put in your deep freeze. Here's a deer that I killed. Here's, like, you would get help from your neighbors. And I remember many, many days in my youth when I'd be down the street, way far away from my house, and some lady would pop her head out of her house and be like, "Your mom says get home." And I'd be like, okay. And sure enough, Mom had called down the street and had so-and-so tell me it was dinner time. Like, that's how neighborhoods were back then. So yeah.
Kids today will never know what it was like to take a ton of pictures and have to wait a week to find out they were useless. That's true. And oftentimes they were. Every wedding picture we have is blurry. Yeah. And there's no going back to redo them.
Yeah.
And we got married at a courthouse. I can't remember who took the pictures, but it was a disposable camera. We had no money, nothing. We were just 2 kids.
Just 2 kids at the courthouse, man, exchanging rings. But we had a couple people, we were passing around a couple of disposable cameras, and every single one, I don't know if it was the film that we bought that was wonk, which was also a possibility. But yeah, every single one. We have them enough to recognize that we're in the picture.
Yeah.
So we keep them. And yeah, but yeah. Oh well. What can we do?
Look, we got a great story.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got 100,000 pictures of everything.
Yeah.
All right, I know it stinks when the Wi-Fi isn't working, but let me tell you a story of catastrophic proportions from my childhood.
Dan, what's the only tool that will fix that?
Wood and pencil.
There you go.
Here's this guy. Gen X expressing love from a responsible distance since 1980.
Yeah.
We've talked about how romance was different in the 80s. It was basically stalking, but everybody was okay with it.
I mean, I can't disagree. You're totally right.
I mean, at least in the movies it was, right?
It was, and it was kind of, I mean, it wasn't that way in real life, of course. The movies were very dramatized back then. They did not paint a realistic picture for the most part. But yeah, we considered that romance,
Oh, yeah. Chris has a clear Bic pen will fix one of these too, which I think I do remember.
A clear Bic pen, all right. When they come back,
I remember
after the apocalypse, after we get taken over by aliens, I'll know. Now we have 2 tools.
I remember getting big packs of those pens before school, and they'd last like a half a day. And then for some reason they had plenty of ink, and you'd be like, wow, and it wasn't right. You'd suck on the end of it trying to get the ink to come out because people would say that works. The lighter. Everybody had all kinds of homemade, yeah.
I'll heat up this ink.
Yeah,
Don't even worry about it. Then I'll start a fire.
Yeah, that pack would last about to day 2.
Then I'll start a fire with my can of Aquanet, and we'll hang out.
Me, I'm going to stop groaning every time I sit down and stand up. My knees, oh yeah, knees hurt.
I mean, yeah, we're old. We know it.
We've seen a million of these, although we do need to revisit The Big Lebowski.
I would love to watch that movie again. That was a hilarious movie and could not have been cast better.
Yeah. Kids, we're bored. Me, listen, your grandparents didn't even know where I was from 1983 to 1988. Go find some sticks to play with.
Guys, when you grew up in the 80s, you never told an adult you were bored. or they'd give you something to do.
Yeah.
You were outside from sunrise to sunset, usually. My mom didn't lock the door after us, but she would tell us, like, go outside. Go outside. You'd run the neighborhood. You'd ride bikes all day. You'd drink from the hose, all that stuff. Like that, all that was true. That was absolutely true.
And it was fun.
We had a lot of freedom. And we had a lot of freedom because, and I'm going to go back to this again, we had a good community to fall back on, to keep an eye on us while we were having fun.
But yeah, you definitely didn't tell your parents you were bored. They'd find you something to do.
No.
And if you cried, they'd find you something to cry about.
That's right.
This is one of my favorites. When you got beef with someone, just send them this pic. They'll know what's up.
Yeah.
This was the first tabloid scandal I was captivated by. Forget OJ, forget whatever. This is the one. I was like, who did it? And I defended Tanya all the way. She was a poor trailer country girl. Like me, kind of, grew up kind of poor, rural. And this Richie Rich lady, I was sure she didn't do it. Come find out she did.
And this was Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. And they were, this was a big deal.
Well, so the blonde lady here, for you youngsters, hit this other lady in the knee with a steel chair, WWE style, and killed her, thinking she'd win the gold at the 2010 figure skating championships. Come find out she didn't. Neither one of them won. Some French lady won, I think.
Yeah. No, that's not how it goes. But anyway, let's move along.
Okay. If you've ever played on this puke-causing, concussion-giving, bone-breaking Kid Rock at launching hunk of metal and survived, you're a true warrior. I've got a little scar under my hair up here somewhere from jumping off of one of those on a camping trip when I was a kid, because I think my brother started spinning it real fast, which I wanted him to. It was fun. He wasn't being mean. But I did go flinging off, centrifugal force and all, and hit my head on something. I'd go to the doctor. He was freaking out because he thought I was hurt, but I wasn't really freaking out.
Your brother was freaking out?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to get in trouble.
But anyway, as the doctor was sewing me up, I remember her telling me that, you think you got it bad. The kid that was in here before you swallowed a watermelon seed and it started growing in his stomach. And it freaked me out, man.
Oh, no. That doctor was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Didn't. No, we used to have, there are at least two places that I remember, and possibly more. There was one at our school and one at our daycare that looked like a merry-go-round like this, but very small. It would only fit, it was about the size of a kitchen tabletop. It would only fit 3 people, and you could only stand on it. And you would stand and you'd hold tight to the rails. And that thing would go about 10 times faster than that. Like, we had people just puking, falling off of it. Like,
That sounds
great.
like a collarbone breaker for sure.
It was great.
Yeah, I remember the playground. We would try to hurt each other, spin something out as fast as you can, so I can imagine how that probably worked.
Yeah.
Tether balls, we'd try to smack it as hard as you could in the other person's face. Whatever, it was just fun.
The teeter-totter, you'd be teeter-tottering along with your friend, and then you'd all of a sudden, you'd jump off the one side so they'd fall on their butts on the other side.
Me and my friend Glenn had epic seesaw battles at church camp. One on the other end, like you could kind of push the seesaw down where it was below your butt and then pull it up real fast and slam down onto it. And then on the other side, it'd make the other person buck up like a bronco, so we'd try to get each other off like that.
Yeah.
There was a give in the thing, so you could turn it a little sideways real fast and whatever.
I don't know why these were banned. They were great.
Life before microwave popcorn. Only rich people had those, as far as I'm concerned.
Our family had one of those.
Rest my case.
No, we were not rich.
No, I know. You weren't
but
rich at all.
This was the greatest thing. Like, this thing provided a solid 20 to 30 minutes entertainment as you're watching the popcorn pop, first of all. And plus, you could melt as much butter as you could possibly want in this thing and make just this buttery, gigantic bowl of the greatest popcorn ever. And I think we should get one.
Yeah,
Even though we're not rich.
that's true.
But I think maybe we could scrape together maybe we could go do chores and scrape together
Maybe we could, yeah, mow some
money
lawns.
and get some popcorn poppers.
We just made it on the stove, but it was always fun.
We used to make the Jiffy Pop on the stove too sometimes, but that one was the greatest, man. It just made really good popcorn.
Look, tapping the screen will never be as satisfying as slamming one of these down. Of course not.
No, of course
What
not.
I'm thinking and what I think we should do is get an old school phone line for the show.
Okay.
Have it sitting right here, and when we go live, people call in like old school. Forget about making comments on that. Yeah, call in.
There you
Hey,
go.
how you doing? Call it.
Call it.
Call it from Chicago. You're on.
Call it two from Chicago.
What do you think?
That was my bad Larry King.
Oh, I thought you were good, Larry King.
Oh no, it wasn't.
That was very good.
That says something about my impersonations.
Okay. All right. Finally, you can't just post a picture of an obscure accessory and expect people to get it. That's the Humpty Dance,
You
people.
can do the Humpty Dance, Dan.
Humpty Dance is the chance to do the hump.
Okay, I'm not going to be dancing here.
All right, Margie, can I tell one quick story before we get out of here?
Yes.
I wasn't there for this. It kind of got passed down to family legend, I guess, but kind of going back on all the political and divisiveness and everything else. My Uncle Davey was a preacher. I think maybe he started out as a Baptist and went Church of God, which is Pentecostal or whatever, but none of that really matters. He did his own thing. One night when he was a very young preacher, very early on, one of his first sermons, he gave a sermon called There Will Be No Baptist in Heaven. And he put it up on the sign, and it made a whole bunch of people mad. And a whole bunch of people came to church that week from other places, from out of town, from wherever. Mad. And they gave the sermon about how once you're dead, and it's all over, and whatever happens, happens. God isn't going to care about your little petty squabbles about what this verse said or that verse said or these little different things. He's going to look into your heart and see what kind of person you are, and it's not going to matter what you called yourself. Same thing with Democrats or Republicans or independents or anything else. We're all humans. Mm-hmm. I think it's time we look inside of our hearts and see that. Later, taters.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.